Our final speaker today, not a pathway speaker. Our next speaker from Israel is Dana Buhbut. Dana is part of an important project dedicated to preserving the stories of Holocaust survivors. Today, in her 10 to 12 minute speech titled A Survivor's Voice, the Unbreakable Spirit of Moses Shulman, she's going to deliver a first-person portrayal of her grandfather, which means she will be speaking as the voice of her grandfather, who survived the Holocaust in a concentration camp in Transnistria government, which is established by the Romanian authorities during World War II. Transnistria, now a part of Ukraine, it was that area, if you picture Odessa, Ukraine, next to Moldova, and there was a little sliver of a territory, and that was the Transnistria government.
Part of Moldova.
So now part of Ukraine became the site of immense suffering when Romania, after joining forces with the Nazis, oppressed and persecuted its Jewish citizens. Out of the 750,000 Jews living in Romania before the war, more than 400,000 were killed during the Holocaust. Despite these brutal conditions, Dana's grandfather and his two daughters survived and later immigrated to Israel. Today, we will experience a Reader's Digest version of what's going to be typically a 45-minute presentation. So she's accommodated our speech requirements by narrowing that down, condensed into 8 to 10 minutes of speech, and then she'll be speaking in the voice of her grandfather, sharing his story of survival and resilience, and following that, she'll have a 2-minute epilogue to reflect on the story and its personal significance. Please welcome Dana Buhbut.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests and family. My name is The Survivor. Actually, it's my nickname that my granddaughter Dana gave me. My real name is Moses Shulman. I was born in 1906 in Bukovina, Ukraine, that time belonged to Romania. The third child of 9, an adventurous and happy boy who loves nature and animals. It was a perfect time until I was 8 years old and World War I broke out. The war came closer and closer to our village, and we started to hear the bombs. Everyone was very scared, and my family, with others, decided to flee into the woods, carry what they can in their hands, and in all this chaos and panic, I got lost in the woods. But I didn't been alone. I had a cow with me. And for each time that I was hungry or thirsty, I will grab the waters and drink the warm and sweet milk. After 8 days, my family found me in the woods, safe and sound. Years later, I joined to Romanian army and served as a horse rider. During my service, I met my first wife, Dina, and we married in 1930. In 1931, my first daughters, Bella, came into the world. And after 3 years, my second daughter, Ella, born. We lived in Bukovina. My wife was a very talented seamstress, and I helped her with her passion. But my passion was beekeeping. I started with 5 hives, and in 5 years I had more than 100. And my honey was very famous in the area. The life was good again, till 1938, when World War II broke out. And after a year more or less, when the Nazi forces came closer to Romania, Romania decided to join to the Nazi forces. And it was a catastrophic decision for us, the Jewish people. Our neighbors became to turn out against us. They started to steal our things, to burn our houses, even to kill us. And again, we had to grab what we can and flee into the woods and hide and run away for months, especially from the Romanian soldiers. But in the end, they caught us. They round up all the Jewish people that they found in the area, and they shave a line in our head, in our hair, so that we will be recognizable, so we will not be able to run away. And they took us to a long walk for about 400 miles. It was a walk of almost 3 months in terrible weather, raining and snowing. And the old people and the sick people that couldn't make up, most of them, the soldiers shoot and kill. My wife was pregnant with our 3rd child. And when we arrived to Transnistria, to the concentration camps, tragically, she died in childbirth. And the baby didn't survive either. I was left with 2 little girls, only 6 and 9 years old. And in order to survive, I would risk my life by sneaking out of the ghetto, going to the nearby villages and work for some food. I also used to steal pieces of wood from destroyed houses in the ghetto, that it was forbidden, of course, and run with the pieces of wood on my shoulder, and the soldier, they shoot on me. And I had to run in zigzag, so the bullets will not hit me. For each piece of wood, I will trade it for a loaf of bread in the bakery of the ghetto. After a year, I remarried to my second wife, Toni, that she was widow and without kids. And she helped me to take care of my girls too, when I was working out of the ghetto, labor work for some food. After 4 long years in the ghetto, the war ended. And I decided to take my family and move to Bucharest, where my sister lived, and she helped us to settle up. In 1946, my son Reuven, born, and the life was hard after the war. it was lack of food supply, and the communist regime was very hard on us, the citizens, and especially the Jewish. But always in my house was some food on the table. You know me already, I know how to manage. When my daughter, Bella, the oldest one, was 18 years old, she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder as an effect of what she was suffering in the Holocaust as a child. But after 2 years, she married, and she brought me my first granddaughter, Dana, that I helped to raise. We all dreamed to emigrate to Israel, to our homeland. But it didn't happen till 1964, where we get the visa. My daughters also get in the same time the visa and emigrate with their family too. My son joined to the Israeli army and became an officer. The life in Israel was good. It was not easy. Israel was a young, established country, but we feel safe in our homeland. That our army protect us, and never again. Years passed, and I again go back to my passion as a beekeeper and sewing with my wife at home. In 1974, my wife passed away, and after few years I decided to sell my house and move to live with my eldest daughter, Bella, and help her financially. However, it didn't work so well because I didn't set up with my son-in-law goal. And then my granddaughter, Dana, that was already married with 3 kids, came to me and asked me to move, to live with her and her kids and her family. I accepted, of course, and it was the best decision that I did in my life. One day I overheard my granddaughter and her friend talking. Her friend asked my granddaughter, Dana, how you manage? It's probably very hard for you to raise your kids, to take care of your business, to study in the university, to take care of your parents and your grandpa at the same time. My granddaughter looked on her and said, what you're talking about? You don't understand that it's my biggest privilege to do these things for my family and except for my grandpa. If not him, nobody in my family will survive. I will not be here. In this moment, I understood what I knew all my life. What goes around came around. And in my 3 last years of my life, from 1986 to 1989, they've been the best years of my life. Actually, it brought me back to my childhood, surrounded by my loving family that take care of me. My granddaughter take care of me like I was her 4th child. But my biggest victory in life is the fact that in this audience are sitting my great kids, listening life story.
Mm.